Anderson,
Here.
Peyton,
Here.
Smith, excused, Husky,
Present.
Franklin, McGee, Lauer. Here. Smith,
Here.
Abarca,
Present.
6 present, 2 absent, 1 excused.
Mr. Executive, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
My pleasure, Mr. Chairman. I pledge allegiance
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, let me read this just to make sure everybody's on the same page about our rules in the legislature. If anyone wishes to display a sign, poster, or placard at a legislative meeting, that person may do so only in the manner that does not obstruct the view of any other attendee at the meeting or otherwise disrupt the proceedings. Anyone wishing to display a sign, poster, or placard during a meeting should announce his or her intention to do so to the Sergeant at Arms prior to the meeting. We understand that he was not here at that time, so you all are fine. The back of the assembly area is the preferred location for the display of signs, posters, and placards. If the chairman determines that a person is displaying a sign, poster, or placard in a manner that obstructs the view of another or otherwise disrupts the proceedings, the chairman may authorize the Sergeant at Arms to ask the person to relocate or leave the assembly area. Just want to make sure everyone's on the same page there. Is there a motion to approve the journal?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We have no hearings today. Madam Clerk, please read Resolution 22243.
Honoring Rosalind Temple during National Crime Victims' Rights Week, introduced by Donna Payton.
Is there
Move to adopt.
a second?
I second it.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Anderson,
Yes.
Payton,
Yes.
Smith, Husky,
Yes.
Franklin, McGee, Lauer. Yes. Smith,
Yes.
Abarca.
Yes.
That's 6 yes, 2 absent, 1 excused.
Legislator Payton for the presentation.
I am absolutely thrilled, not only to be standing next to this incredible woman, but to be able to do this little small gesture in response to all the work that she does. If you have seen at any given time on the news, when officers go to a crime scene, you see this lady right here, there. And she is such an advocate. So it is my pleasure to present this resolution today. Whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week is a time for communities across the nation to honor survivors of crime, remember those whose lives were taken, and recognize the individuals and organizations who work tirelessly to support victims and advance justice. And whereas Rosalind Temple, founder of Kansas City Mothers in Charge, has become a leading voice for crime victims and a steadfast advocate for families affected by homicide in the Kansas City metropolitan area. And whereas Ms. Temple's commitment to victim support began after the tragic loss of her son, Antonio Pee Wee Thompson, in 2011, an experience that revealed the urgent need for compassionate, community-based crisis intervention for families facing unimaginable grief. I am going to stop here because I want to give her time to tell her story and to share with us those things that we don't even think about that you encounter regularly.
Thank you. I want to thank you, Donna. Thank you for doing all the legislation. I really appreciate this. I lost my 26-year-old son November 23rd, 2011, which was Thanksgiving Eve, in his apartment. I didn't know what to do. Been born and raised in Kansas City all my life. Been a part of my community. I needed a mama at the scene to hug me and tell me she understood my pain, but it wasn't no one there. I knew the police department was going to give me the best investigation they had, and I wanted them to. And I knew that it wasn't nobody in the community out there to support me. So I had to take a stand. I stepped into my purpose. I never did something that felt so right. I didn't sacrifice my child. I was just a mama. I know God didn't bring him home like that. It was it was a monster in this community that did that. But we're living in a community that's violent. Kansas City's a violent community at this time. We're at probably almost 40 homicides so far this year. We just had 3 overnight. It's a problem. And they're dying at the age of 14, 15, and 16. I never thought after all these years doing this work, about 15 years in Kansas City, going to homicide scenes when I'm called out, anytime they are nice, support families, community, and police department, that I would see us to get to a place like this. I thought we can get better. But we dealing with this young generation that has no fear of anything. See, when I was coming, I fear God. See, I knew God, I fear God. So we had to put that fear back in our community, but I don't know where we at right now, but I know I'm gonna keep on giving all I have, the last breath of my body, to support families in my community, support the police department, prosecution, because we have a problem. It is crime. We kicked off Crime Victim Week yesterday. On Saturday, it was Pee Wee's Walk, the 8th year. We walk for all the victims of crime. Anybody in this community been a victim of crime. No one is exempt from homicide, no one. So if you see something, you know something, you speak up. I'm just a mama. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Communications and reports from our county executive. Are there any report from Mr. Executive?
Mr. Chairman, members of the legislature, that's just inspirational. Another round of applause for her. I come from a background as a prosecutor in violent crimes and murder, homicide, and the hardest part is dealing with family and what they have to deal with in their days. And for her to step up and take that terrible tragedy to give back to the victims of violent crimes is just amazing. So my heart goes out. Let me start by addressing an issue that Legislator Sean Smith brought up last week in some of the county code and some of the reporting, that I want to make sure that I'm reporting to this legislature about our budget and about the financial resources that are going on in this county. I know that for too long, maybe it's been kind of a blind on this side where you didn't get to know numbers, and I think those days are over. So what I want to do specifically, I want to address County Code Section 555. This report, bank balance comparison with year-to-date, current, and year-to-date previous year for accounts with over $100,000 will be provided to the legislature at their 4th meeting of each month. And I'm going to begin that on April 27th. If the 4th monthly meeting is canceled, that report will be provided at the next scheduled regular meeting. So each report will be for the previous month's financials. So on April 27th, the legislature will see the March's year-to-date balance. Under County Code Section 556, we're required to provide information in this report as an annual snapshot report of bank account reconciliation status. That will be provided to the legislature at a regular meeting within the first quarter of each year, and the 2026 report will be provided on April 27th. And finally, the monthly financial reports. This report, monthly financial status, will be provided to the legislature at their 4th meeting of each month, beginning April 27th. Again, if the 4th monthly meeting is canceled or it doesn't happen, that report will be provided at the next scheduled regular meeting. Each report will be for the previous month's financials. Again, if it's April 27th, the legislature will see the March's financials. So I talked to my financial team, and there's really no reason why. We have the numbers, and they're not shared with the legislature. They haven't before. They will. So I appreciate Legislator Smith bringing that to my attention, and I wanted to respond with that. Any questions about that before I move on?
Thank you, Mr. Executive. That's good. Go ahead.
I want to talk about Ordinance 6073. Lake Tacoma is a 970-acre freshwater reservoir located in the 7,800-acre Jackson County's Crown Jewel Fleming Park. The idea for the lake began in 1932 when presiding judge, actually then county executive, Harry S. Truman, requested that a study be done for a potential park. However, nothing was done at the time. It was 20 years later that local voters approved a bond issue to create and develop the lake. Lake Jacomo officially opened on May 30th, 1959. I talked to a gentleman this afternoon that started fishing on that day in Lake Jacomo. In 1984, 42 years ago, was the last time horsepower issues were dealt with. For quite a while, members of the legislature were asked about increasing the horsepower slightly because of lake users wanted an update, and there had not been a review for over 40 years. Legislator Franklin proposed the legislation as a way to bring the speeds up to date, which I think everything ought to be reviewed timely, and 40 years is a good time to take a look at it. But let me tell you what good government looks like. I and all the members of this legislature have received comments from people, and many people are here in this room that oppose this change, and some people support this change. And you know what happens in other governments? Not this building. They ram things through without the input. Well, not in this building. That's not how we do it. That's not how this collaborative body between the executive's office and this legislature does it. I spoke with Legislator Franklin. He's not here today, but I spoke with him today, and he agreed at the next meeting he will withdraw this legislation because it is important to listen to our constituents. So I'm asking the chairman to hold this until next week when it comes up today, that Legislator Franklin has the opportunity to withdraw that. That means that no further action changing any of the horsepower in Lake Jacomo will move unless there's public input and town hall meetings that this legislature would deal with. So I want to thank everyone who reached out. I want to thank anyone who's watching. I want to thank all of you that are here today. Lake Jacomo is going to stay as it is until there's public input about what would change. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask everyone and people here if they remember the Lake Jacomo water slide. Yes. Okay. Well, you did. Well, that is where I met my wife. And today is actually our wedding anniversary. So, happy anniversary to my wife. Lake Jacomo is going to stay the same. And what's important, I know to every member of that dais and to me, is that we're listening to constituents. And that's, if this moves forward, the chairman of this legislative body will listen to the concerns for and against, because there's people on both sides of it. But before this body would move on it, again, I'm speaking for everyone up here that we want to hear from you, and we will hear from you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Questions, comments, thoughts? Mr. Executive, the only one that I have is several folks that I had conversations with talked about the Parks Board opportunity. Anything in your foresight in terms of how we tackle that and get appointments out for a Parks Board to deal with these and other issues?
Yeah, we have the ability. Again, remember, I've been here for 5 to 6 months. It feels like 5 to 6 months underwater in Lake Jacomo. But that's something that's important to deal with, to have an independent body that deals with parks. We have one of the best park systems in the country. So I think that's something that we've talked about that we need to consider and move forward on.
I think that there's some folks out there who suggested themselves to be appointed, so you might, if you have that interest, there's the executive. So, other questions, comments, or thoughts for our executive? Mr. Executive, one question about switching topics, property taxes. What are we preparing for 2027? Because that was a topic that came up over the weekend to me about what we're doing now to prepare for the next year's assessment cycle. Can you shed any light on that process now, if we're going to do an appointed assessor or if we're maintaining, just to prepare for the inevitable in 2027?
Well, the fact that we live in now is that we will have an elected assessor in 2028. And that elected position will have the opportunity to be in charge of all the assessment of properties in the future. Remember, we don't have an assessor here. We only have a director of an department, just like the Parks and Rec department or any other department. My responsibility as county executive is moving to 2027 is to make sure the assessment process is done fair, transparent, and according to the law. And that's what I'm going to be doing in the next couple months, is making sure we have that ability to do that. If we can't find that, we can't raise property values. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be talking to people about whether and if there's a possibility of doing anything like a property tax freeze, a flat rate freeze. I think it's something that we should be discussing between us and the legislature, that the people of Jackson County have had such uncertainty in their property tax in the last 10 years. Why can't we give them the stability and give them a proper tax freeze for the next assessment cycle. And they stay where they are, and there's no increase in property tax. Here's the deal. 2023, 15%. 2024, 15%. 2025, 15%. 1 year of 15% is one thing. But I'm a dumb lawyer, but I can still do the math. And that is really blowing people out of their houses. So that's why I tell you, I'm looking at how we make sure that assessments are transparent and they're fair. But I'm also thinking about outside the box of how we really bring some tax relief to the people moving forward, and then leave the next cycle to our elected assessor. So that's the ongoing conversation I'll be having with each and every one of you about your thoughts and about how we deliver maybe some even more tax relief to the people of Jackson County.
Don't forget 2019.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, comments, or thoughts for the county executive? All right, thank you so much. We'll now move into the perfection of proposed ordinances and reports on committee. 6050.
Prohibiting law enforcement officers from concealing their faces or badges during performance of their official duties and establishing penalties and exemptions, legislature as a whole.
We'll hold this. We have a report that we'll hear today, in fact. 6074.
Implementing a 120-day moratorium on the processing of data center land use applications and battery energy storage system land use applications by Jackson County for the purpose of developing a long-term policy and accompanying county code provisions related to such applications, including the direction of regulatory standards and enhanced public notification requirements. Health and Environment Committee.
I'll remind folks, I think it's in your inbox, the data center group that's out of Independence invited us all to a forum tomorrow. Wanted to make you aware of that. Because of that, I'd say we hold this until next week and we can take it up. 6075.
Amending the zoning districts established pursuant to the Unified Development Code by rezoning a certain 126 plus or minus acre tract from District AG Agriculture to District RE Residential Estates. Land Use Committee.
Committee did not meet, so we'll hold. 6076.
Transferring and appropriating $27,260 from the undesignated fund, the undesignated balance of the 2026 Park Fund, and authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with She Digs It LLC of Blue Springs, Missouri, to cover construction and installation of a drinking fountain at Fleming Park at a cost to county not to exceed $27,260. Public Works Committee.
Committee did not meet, so we'll hold. 6077.
Enacting Section 6004 of the Jackson County Code 1984 relating to standards for care and treatment in Jackson County residential facilities with a severability clause. Legislature as a whole.
We should hold this and set a public hearing for the next legislative meeting. 6078.
Transferring and appropriating $378,162 from the undesignated fund balance of the 2026 Park Fund, and authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Target Sports Construction Central LLC of Lee Summit, Missouri, to cover construction and planning of pickleball courts at Fleming Park at a cost to county not to exceed $378,162. Public Works Committee.
Committee did not meet, so we'll hold. Final passage of proposed ordinances. 6049.
Establishing a third-party monitoring program for Jackson County projects and authorizing access for qualified contracted third parties to conduct site visits. Perfected.
Okay, there's an objection. Is there a motion? Is there seeking a motion for 6049? All right, so I guess we will hold this. 6071.
Transferring and appropriating $4,164,475 from the undesignated fund balance of the 2026 Park Enterprise Fund, and awarding a contract for the replacement of the irrigation system at the Fred Urbanus Golf Course and Frank White Jr. Sports Complex to Verity Sports Construction LLC of Langley, Washington, under the terms and conditions of invitation to bid number 25-047 at a cost to county not to exceed $4,164,475. Perfected.
Without objection, this will be placed on the consent agenda for adoption. 6072.
Transferring $233,100 within the 2026 grant fund and appropriating $233,100 from the undesignated fund balance of the 2026 grant fund and acceptance of a supplemental grant, and authorizing the Director of Parks Plus Rec to execute an agreement received from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources Division of State Parks Land and Water Conservation Fund Program for use by the Parks Plus Rec Department. Perfected.
Without objection, this will be placed on the consent agenda for adoption. 6073.
repealing sections 5055, 5056, and 5057 of the Jackson County Code 1984 relating to watercraft horsepower and enacting in lieu thereof 4 new sections relating to the same subject perfected.
We will hold this and set a public hearing for the next legislative meeting. Resolutions in committee. There are no committee meetings today, so I cannot get a motion to waive the readings. So we'll move forward with our regular read. 22207.
Transferring $42,857 within the 2026 general fund and awarding a contract for the purchase of communication equipment for use by the Sheriff's Office to MRA International, Inc. of Long Branch, New Jersey, under the terms and conditions of invitation of bid number 25-057 at actual cost to the county in the amount of $42,857. Justice and Law Enforcement Committee.
Committee did not meet, so we'll hold that.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend we waive 22211, the reading of 22211, 22212, 22213, 22225, 22228, 22232, 22233, 22234, 22235, 22236, 22237. Those were assigned to subcommittees which have not met. Just trying to keep us from reading them unnecessarily unless there's any specific concerns.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right. Mary Jo?
Anderson,
Yes.
Peyton,
Yes.
Smith, Husky,
Yes.
Franklin, McGee,
Yes.
Lauer. Yes. Smith,
Yes.
Abarca,
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, 1 excused.
22242.
Recognition of 20 years of unwavering dedicated service to the Housing Authority of Kansas City, where Gerald Douglas has served as resident service director, helping support families and strengthening the community. Legislature as a whole.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Anderson,
Yes.
Peyton,
Yes.
Smith, Husky,
Yes.
Franklin, McGee, Lauer. Smith,
Yes.
Abarca,
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, 1 excused.
Consent agenda. I have 6071, 6072,
That's it.
and that's it. All right. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Anderson,
Yes.
Peyton,
Yes.
Smith, Husky,
Yes.
Franklin, McGee, Lauer. Smith,
Yes.
Abarca,
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, 1 excused.
Introduction of proposed ordinances and assignments to committee. There are none. Madam Clerk, are there any add-ons?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Introduction of proposed resolutions and assignment to committee. 22243. Oh, I'm sorry, we already did that one. 22244.
Awarding a contract for the purchase of a John Deere True Finish utility rake for use by the Parks Plus Rec Department to John Deere and Company of Cary, North Carolina, under the terms and conditions of Sourcewell Contract Number 112624 DAC and existing competitively bid government contract at an actual cost to the county in the amount of $21,714, introduced by Charlie Franklin.
Assigned to Public Works Committee. 22245.
Declaring certain county-owned vehicles as surplus property and authorizing their disposal pursuant to Chapter 11 of Jackson County Code 1984, introduced by Manuel Barker IV.
Assigned to Justice and Law. 22246.
Authorizing the county executive to execute a management agreement with the Downtown Community Improvement District for the furnishing of maintenance and safety-related services at the Openstein Brothers Memorial Park at the Central Business District of Downtown Kansas City, Missouri, at an annual cost to the county not to exceed $75,000, introduced by Charlie Franklin.
Assigned to Public Works Committee. 22247.
Transferring $150,000 within the 2025 County Improvement Fund to cover costs for inmate clothing and costs associated with relocating items from the detention center at 1300 Cherry Street, Kansas City, Missouri, to the East Campus at 7000 East US 40 Highway, introduced by Vanessa Husky.
Assigned to Justice and Law. 22248.
Authorizing the Jackson County Executive to execute a professional services agreement with KC Digital Drive of Kansas City, Missouri, for Jackson County Broadband and Digital Equity Plan Phase 1 services at a cost to the county not to exceed $100,000, introduced by Jeannie Lauer.
Assigned to Public Works Committee. 22249.
honoring James Staub for his accomplishments, introduced by Manuel Barker IV.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Anderson,
Yes.
Peyton,
Yes.
Smith, Husky,
Yes.
Franklin, McGee,
Yes.
Lauer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Abarca,
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, 1 excused.
22250.
Authorizing the Jackson County Legislature to hold a closed meeting on Monday, April 20th, 2026, for the purpose of conducting privileged and confidential communications between itself and the Jackson County Council under Section 610.021, Paragraph 1 of the revised statutes of Missouri, and closing all records prepared for discussion at said meeting, introduced by Manuel Barker IV.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Anderson?
Yes.
Peyton?
Yes.
Smith? Husky?
Yes.
Franklin? McGee?
Yes.
Lauer? Smith?
Yes.
Abarca?
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, 1 excused.
Madam Clerk, are there any add-ons?
No, Mr. Chairman.
County Executive, are there any county executive orders?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Unfinished business, is there any report from the county executive regarding the number of taxpayers who have issues pending before the Board of Equalization for real and commercial properties, as well as those who have overpaid and are awaiting refunds?
I've got those numbers. I just didn't bring them with me, so I'll bring them next week. I apologize.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any new business before we recess to?
Very briefly, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
Mr. Executive.
We've talked about ARPA funds for quite a while. This body distributed $35 million for the agencies. And I want to give to the legislature a starting point of a proposal I have to get 11 million of the ARPA funds out the door that are for infrastructure. And I just want to just pass them to you guys today and start a dialogue. We can kickstart that so we can get some money out the door. And that's really all I have.
Mr. Executive, have we identified all of the 35 remaining million, or is this just a block of 11 out of that?
This is a block of 11 out of it, and we're still working on identifying. I think that your phrase was, it's mashed down and squashed out, and we're trying to figure out where those might be. But I know this body wants to get money out the door. I want to start with a place where we can maybe.
I have a question. So related to ARPA funds, we passed a resolution, I don't know, several weeks ago, maybe as long as 2 months ago, requesting the state auditor review how the funds were moved around by the previous administration, making sure that we didn't lose track of anything. Has that been communicated? And this is maybe a question for our clerk, maybe a question for the county executive or legal, I don't know. But like, we passed it. Did anybody pass that along to the state auditor?
The conversation we had with the state auditor is wrapping up the current audit that's been going on, and I think that's on their desk to start. I will tell you this, one of my assistant county managers, county administrators, is ready to come and give this body a report of, after some digging, what she believes where some money is. So I was very, very excited and encouraged to see, after she says some digging, to be able to report back that she believes she can figure out where some of those are.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
Yeah, and I'm all about that. I'm just asking if anybody in this room knows if the state auditor was notified that we passed a resolution indicating we wanted them to audit this bundle of ARPA funds and how it was handled.
I can tell you, they knew it was coming. I don't know whether they've started on it and officially been notified by the legislature or anything.
Okay. Yes. So
Legislator Lauer?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Executive, the items listed here would be helpful if they had more descriptors on there, particularly the municipalities. I see where one or two of them may have something identified like a playground or so forth, but the other municipalities do not have anything describing what the money's for.
Just a starting point, legislator, and each of those have some specific issues to them. So that's kind of kickoff point, and I'd like to move forward. And like, if you have we have discussion about, for example, Tarsney Lake is one of the mention of $10,000, and they have
Right.
a problem with their lily pads in the pond that's a Jackson County,
Right.
lake. So there are
Like Blue
specific
Springs,
cities.
what is Blue Springs?
Blue Springs is to help them with their downtown, their plan of their downtown redevelopment.
Okay, if we could have those descriptors emailed to us, I think that would be helpful.
Definitely will.
Okay, thank you.
Other question, Legislator Payton.
Thank you so much. Mr. Executive, how did we receive the request from these organizations? How did they identify to us their projects and how much money it was going to cost to do these projects? And how will they, is this going to be grant money or will they report back? How would this process work?
This is a kickoff to get some money that ARPA money's been spending for years. Each of these municipalities have different agencies, and if you'll notice, the first list is for us to take care of ourselves here at home, and that's some of our needs that we have going on. But each municipality has expressed an interest of a specific infrastructure project they're working on with me, and I think to each of you, specifically to maybe either other districts, and this is an interest that they have that they could use the funds for. Remember, this ARPA money is to be granted based on how this legislature wants to do it. You can find out that your own district, you've talked to your mayors, your council people, and you think that they have an interest, and you can put that into the award, or you can go through a process. You can do whatever you want. There's no process that is required by this. The process is this money's been sitting there for a long time, and I know each of these municipalities could use this for infrastructure. But this is just a starting ground. I think we can have further dialogue about the specifics, like Legislator Lauer said. Well, give me some more. What does Grandview want their money for? What would they be using this for? I think that's that's where I wanted to start.
And will this money be treated as grant money or what? We're giving them this money. Will they have any reporting back to us to let us know how the project's going, to let us know if there's money left over?
Yeah, we would treat this just like other compliance issues and grant. They report back to what they're doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Executive, it looks like this page is the last page of potential ordinance that was teed up. Can we see the rest of it, I guess, as well?
Yeah,
just to see?
I just had the council just do a draft. There's no specific language that's designated more. I just put this sheet off to start with the numbers.
Thank you. Legislator Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know this is a starting point, but I would be remiss, as I'm sure the county executive knows and the administration knows and my colleagues know, that we still have not invested any large amount of money into the county itself. What we have going on here in this building, the front steps are still not correct. We still have ADA issues. And I understand all these I know this is a jumping off point. This isn't the final say. I understand that. What I'm just saying is that I would hope that we could have more conversations. I understand municipalities may need things, but the last time we put any money into this courthouse, which wasn't an emergency fund, I think probably was before I was elected. So we've got a lot of stuff that we have to fix in this place. I know we can't do it with just the remaining $35 million, but at least we could start to do something, or at least look at how we need to deal with these very large issues, and also the issues that affect the folks who work at the county all throughout our different facilities. So I want to put that out there on the record again. But again, I appreciate us even beginning a conversation around these monies.
Legislator Anderson?
Yes, sir.
I feel you. We got to get right here at home. We got to take care of our county. That's one of these is the downtown courthouse steps, and that's a $6 million project. The front door to this building has been closed, and it looks horrible and has been forever. So that's one of the things. Just the issues like the historic Independence ADA parking. You know, the way they've changed up on the square, you can't park close enough to that. The historic Independence Courthouse has some problems to it. So my proposal, just as a kickstart, is the $11 million, which leaves us with a bunch of other money too, to really focus on things going on in this county.
And Mr. Executive, I would be remiss if I didn't remind that we did have a process that I think the first year we were here. And we did identify projects, there was a proposals. And if we could, I would actually ask our budget chair probably to take this on as a study idea and pick up kind of this discussion so we have some more opportunity in committee to go forward with something more formal. So, Madam Chair, if you would take that on, we'd appreciate it.
I most certainly will. I will seek a little more clarity from you on that.
Thank you. All right, any other new business? All right, we will now recess for the closed meeting. Mr. Kavinsky, will there be any action needed afterwards? I don't believe so. Okay, perfect. All right, we will now, should we adjourn first, Mary Jo, or how do you want to do it? Now? Okay. All right, we'll come back afterwards to adjourn. So please return, because can't leave too many of you out. You'll join us. All right. We are ending our recess. So the next legislative meeting is scheduled to be held on Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 3 o'clock at the Jackson County Courthouse, 415 East 12th Street, Kansas City, Missouri, second floor, Legislative Assembly area. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we are now adjourned. No.